A Mortal's Journey to Immortality Episode 310. In the previous episode, Han Li and his allies entered a strange area filled with smooth white stones and a dense, impenetrable gray mist. Curious but cautious, they tested the mist with a golden spirit bird, only to discover a massive python hidden inside, cloaked by demonic fog. Just as they prepared to confront the beast, a concealed cultivator revealed himself, only to meet a swift and brutal end at the hands of Lu Weiyan. With the immediate threat eliminated, Han Li quickly set up an isolation formation to contain the battle. While Marquis Nanlong readied his enormous golden sword and Lu Weiyan summoned the hurricane flag to disperse the fog, preparing for the coming clash. At the end of the previous episode, the battlefield was set, the mist began to clear, and the enormous sword floated menacingly above Marquis Nanlong, signaling the imminent confrontation. What will happen next? Stay tuned. And the story continues. Lu Weiyan finished his incantation and pointed to the spell flag. Trembling, the flag suddenly unfolded, shining with a blinding light. Gusts of wind swirled violently around it, twisting and roaring like a brewing storm. Gradually, the chaotic air condensed into 10 or so white wind dragons, each surging forward with overwhelming momentum toward the swirling gray mist that blanketed the area. The sight was awe-inspiring, as if the very winds themselves had been given life and purpose, racing together to confront the unseen danger. Above the mist, Marquis Nanlong's massive golden sword hovered, rotating slowly in the air. He seemed poised to wait for the mist to disperse before delivering a thunderous strike upon the ancient beast within. Han Li, observing silently, extended his sleeve and summoned a small silver bell. It sparkled briefly before shooting forward like a comet, vanishing into the distance in a flash of silver light. The wind dragons struck the mist, piercing through its dense layers. The gray haze churned violently, torn apart momentarily by the tornado-like forces emanating from the dragons. But this momentary victory was short-lived. A strange hissing sound echoed through the mist, followed by a muffled boom. A massive snake tail, as thick as a water jar, shot out from the gray veil and effortlessly tossed one of the wind dragons aside, scattering the tornado that had formed. 2 more thuds followed, each accompanied by a wind dragon being smashed away as if they were mere toys. Lu Weiyan's face drained of color. He hastily performed another intricate hand gesture, chanting the word, "Explode." Instantly, the remaining wind dragons burst with white light, detonating in a violent surge. The blast scattered the mist further, revealing the massive creature within. Coiled up, the beast was the size of a mountain, its immense body slowly becoming visible. Marquis Nanlong immediately seized the opportunity, focusing his golden sword to strike at the exposed target. Han Li, ever calm, fired a spell seal at his silver bell. In a brilliant flash, it expanded to 3 meters in height. A silver wave radiated from the bell in a clear, resonant sound, moving forward to strike the huge python. Coordinating perfectly with the golden sword's attack, the python reacted sluggishly, shrinking further into its coils, seemingly intent on weathering the assault. Marquis Nanlong's eyes gleamed with satisfaction. He poured even more spiritual power into the golden sword, causing it to grow slightly larger, preparing to strike with devastating force. But without warning, a layer of green light enveloped the python. Golden and green lights collided with a deafening boom. Almost immediately, the green light overpowered the golden sword, repelling it with ease. Lu Weiyan, Han Li, and Marquis Nanlong all stared in astonishment. Even the silver wave from Han Li's bell was deflected without effort. The python, awakened by the attacks, slowly raised its head and fixed its ominous green eyes on the 3 cultivators. The mist, once dense and concealing, had now completely cleared, revealing the python in its full terrifying glory. Its body was as black as iron, stretching over 200 meters in length, covered in black palm-sized scales. The eyes, a faint green, glimmered with a menacing intelligence. Han Li felt a shiver down his spine. The python's size was immense, but even more shocking was its speed. Before he could react, it lunged forward, devouring the silver bell, which had been 100 meters away. In the blink of an eye, the golden sword followed, swallowed without a trace. The speed of the python's extension was almost impossible to follow with the naked eye. Marquis Nanlong's initial alarm quickly turned to excitement. He had spent over 100 years refining his linked magic treasure. And now, he reasoned, the python's action of swallowing the sword could be exploited. The creature, he thought, might have brought its own doom by ingesting the weapon. He commanded the sword to unleash its full power within the python's stomach. But a freeze crossed his expression as he realized the sword was restrained. Unable to move, if the treasure were damaged, his own consciousness would be at risk. With a grim expression, he warned, "Fellow Taoists, my flying sword has been restrained. This python is no ordinary beast. Be careful." Lu Wuying quickly attempted to recall his spell flag, releasing several talismans into the air. The talismans burst into 10 blinding white fireballs, floating in front of him like miniature suns. Han Li, not missing a beat, tapped his storage pouch, summoning 4 streaks of white light. Out of them appeared 3 wolves, 2 flame oxen, and a green snake, 6 puppets acquired previously from Taoist Heaven Crystal. Though he had not truly tested them before, now they were deployed against the formidable python. Marquis Nanlong and Lu Wuying exchanged surprised glances at the sight of Han Li's puppets. The 3 cultivators, seasoned and skilled, coordinated their attacks, each unleashing their full power against the python. Yet, the python's eyes glimmered ominously. It raised its massive head and spat a foul liquid toward them. A fishy scent filled the air. The trio instinctively raised protective barriers and held their breath. Although not poisonous, the smell forced them into hesitation. Seizing the moment, the python opened its mouth wide, inhaling with incredible force. Stones, soil, and even air around it were drawn in as if by a powerful vacuum. The cultivators struggled to resist the pull. Feeling themselves immobilized, Han Li's puppets, brought close to the python, offered no resistance. Calm and composed, Han Li caused azure light to flare around him, grounding himself, and commanded his puppets to attack. The red oxen glowed with fiery energy, launching beams into the python's gaping mouth. The python, surprised by the assault, groaned and closed its mouth, momentarily halting its suction. Han Li regained control of the 3 white wolves. Their bodies glowed with a brilliant light, claws sharp and illuminated. In blinding streaks, they struck at the python's head. Clangs echoed as their fangs and claws met the black iron-like scales, leaving white marks but causing no serious damage. 2 wolves then aimed for the python's eyes. Unprotected and vulnerable, a purple blur and muffled thuds sounded. These wolves were flung aside by the python's tongue. The python, tilting its massive head, attempted to consume the wolves, but the green snake puppet suddenly grew to 40 meters and leapt at it. While the 2 red oxen fired additional attacks. Angered, the python roared and exhaled a black mist from its nostrils, concealing its head entirely. The white wolves took this chance to retreat, but 2 new snake heads emerged from the black mist, pinning them in place. The cultivators watched in disbelief as the python revealed its true form, a 3-headed ebony snake. The center head hissed. The 2 side heads clamped down on the wolf puppets, all while the sheer size and speed of the creature left them in awe. Then, the still air rippled as soon as the word, "explode," was uttered. With 2 huge booms, the puppets in the snake's jaws suddenly shined with blinding white light. In this episode, we saw Han Li and his allies confronting an immense and terrifying ancient python hidden within a dense gray mist. The 3 cultivators unleashed their powerful attacks, white wind dragons, a massive golden sword, and explosive talismans, only to discover that the python's defenses were far stronger than expected. The creature moved with astonishing speed, swallowing treasures and even the golden sword itself in the blink of an eye. Han Li then summoned his 6 puppets, using them cleverly to counter the python's overwhelming force. As the battle escalated, the python revealed its true form, a 3-headed ebony snake, even more fearsome and powerful than anyone had anticipated. What happens next? Stay tuned for the next episode of Immortal's journey to immortality. If you enjoyed this episode or found it exciting, Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel to receive the latest updates on Han Li's journey to immortality. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next videos.